All right, welcome everyone. Oh no, I didn't go over to Facebook and stream it. Give me a second here. Whoops. Well, there's slackers are going to be late because the storm was coming. And so, my husband was really concerned and he's like, you really should shut your computer off. And I'm like, okay. So I shut my computer off for like 20 minutes and I ran downstairs. We watched a little bit of the storm. I'm like, okay, I gotta go. Storm's over, right? Great, good.
It
See
was
you
a quick
later.
storm.
It was. But we didn't even lose power. I'm just so happy about that. All right, so I'm up. That's on live on Facebook. Here we go. Let's stream to those people that didn't want to zoom in with us. Patch phenomenon. I gotta learn to spell that a little bit better. Share, not my timeline, on the page. Yep, there we go. We're live. Perfect. I think that should work. Hey, well, welcome everyone. If you're East Coast, I hope everyone has signed in because your account signed in from another device. What do you mean I signed in from another device? Okay, sure, we're live streaming. All right, thanks everyone. This computer. Welcome everyone. Welcome. Oh, let's see. Let's start with X39 tonight, shall we? I think
Sounds good.
So Chris and I have been working on something, and the reason I said start X39 is because we kind of really did some good bullet points that I'd like to kind of just point out for X39. That specifically the X39 patch is elevating that copper peptide, that GHKCU. So if you Google that, there's a lot of great research that comes back on how beneficial copper peptides are for people. The reason the copper peptide is so important is because it is the peptide that activates the stem cells. It's the one that tells the body, you need to go make more. And what that does is that resets your genes on a cellular level to a younger, healthier state. So it goes into cells that are dying and replaces them. It goes into cells that have been damaged and helps restore them or replaces them depending on the damage. So that cellular healing is really the only patch that can give you that, because it's the only patch that elevates that GHKCU, which is the copper peptide, regulating that stem cell production. So we're going to relieve pain. We're going to have rapid wound healing. We're going to have managing your inflammation. We kind of talked about that a little bit last week, just in the fact that we don't want to completely remove inflammation, because inflammation is what calls the stem cells to an area of trauma.
Well, it's two different kinds. You don't have to get rid of it. It's just two different kinds.
Sure.
There's acute and a chronic. So
correct.
Yeah, right. They work with the acute where they go in and it's like, heal this right now. But then you don't get that chronic overall inflammation that's going to cause things like arthritis and just real degenerative aging and like those kind of diseases. So yeah, it's good, but they're just two different kinds. So I just want to point that out.
So, well, it does help to regulate that inflammation system in your body, increases energy, and also gives you better sleep. That X39. Did anyone else experience that better sleep on X39? Because it was like a game changer for me.
And the more I wear it, the better it gets, like dreams and just,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's just quickly compare X39 to X49, because they are both stem cell patches, but they regulate different things. So the X39 elevates GHKCU, which is the copper peptide. X49 elevates AHKCU, which is the daughter peptide to the copper peptide. What this one focuses on is improving cognitive function. It enhances performance, strength, muscle mass, stamina. It supports a weight loss with a healthy diet. It supports the cardiovascular system. And there are studies that show that it increases bone density for women ages 40 to, I can't remember the top number. I was just happy I was in that range. And then the fat loss, the weight loss, when used in tandem with a healthy diet and exercise program. So the two of those together, the synergistic properties of them are pretty great. And Carrie, maybe you can speak more to this about that. There's the EMF, like it helps. It's
the
like
Faraday?
the Faraday cage
Yeah.
on a cellular level when you wear these two patches
Like throughout your whole
together.
body, it was supposed to like really just repel the EMFs. They had studies that show it. So I mean, it's amazing.
Mhm.
Using them together is so good, especially with all the 5G that we have that's just being rained down on us. You know, any
Yes.
protection we can get is great.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
and sometimes there's things you find or see advertised on social media that you put on your device. I think this is so awesome that we have this that we put on our body, and even because we know it's protecting our body and not just protecting us from whatever we're sticking on our device or whatever. But the other thing about it is that it works for 24 hours. Even if we're wearing that X39 patch for 12 hours, it continues to work in the body. You don't have to have the patch on for 24 hours. You wear it for 12 and then 12 off, and then you apply another one, the next morning, for example, if you're wearing it, during the day.
That's great.
And that's the truth with all the patches. They all continue to work for 24 hours, even though you only wear them for 12 hours.
I think the one that I like the most for that is the glutathione. You can wear that for 12 hours. It increases, which is what I have on right here, because I was out with my husband today and I was like, I have that little thing in my throat. And I put that on and I stopped feeling that way. I was, thank goodness. Here I am in the
had that
doctor's
last week,
office.
like a scratchy throat too. Like I thought I was gonna get sick, and I started wearing glutathione. I just put it on one day and I thought I'm gonna wear this. I even wore it 2 on my body for one day when it was kind of really coming on, and then all of a sudden I was better the next day and I didn't get sick. So Kate, can we talk just about that a minute too? Because I know Chrissy and I were talking about adding glutathione to her regimen.
Sure.
When she's ready to, you're starting with X39 and Eon, right, Chrissy? You'd been wearing some, but we just ordered those. So when you add glutathione, it's actually, rather than taking a supplement, it's allowing your body to increase those glutathione levels on its own.
Mhm.
So I'd love for Carrie or Kate to share anything more about that, or if anyone has questions about that. I mean, master antioxidant. And for me, if I'm traveling or I know I'm going to be around a lot of people, or even last week we had a bonfire and I'm so sensitive to the smoke. I just put 2 glutathione on my body just so I knew that could be something that could trigger me not feeling good. So those are the times I wear it, but typically then it's just when I feel good, it's just every 3rd day. So it's one of those patches where you can kind of stretch it a little bit longer. But I'd love to be reminded too, why do we only need to wear it every 3rd day? If, does it continue to stay elevated in our body for that amount of time, Kate? I think we had talked about that in the past, but I don't recall.
I remember reading somewhere about it that once it increases to the optimal level of glutathione, I think it's every 7 or 8 minutes. Then it kind of goes down a little bit, and it goes down a little bit every 7 or 8 minutes. So I believe it would take you a few days to get back down to a low level of glutathione where you can raise it back up again. I can look and see. Go ahead, Gare.
Oh, I did love the video that you posted that David just did all about the glutathione. Did
yes.
Watch that?
I have.
That was
not
so
yet.
great. I loved how he talked about adding the vitamin C when you're taking the glutathione to increase the detox properties. I think that's super important. And, with epigenetics, we always talk about those 2 things together. So it was a nice reminder for everybody. And I was also super surprised. We don't think of glutathione for skin purposes, but he talked about, how it really helps with, de-aging the skin and remodeling the skin. And there were tons of studies on that. And I thought that was super interesting, because I always think like detox, with the glutathione. That's just where my brain goes. But there were so many added benefits. I really recommend everybody watch that video. It wasn't really that long, and it was super interesting.
The title was glutathione on skin, and I'm like, oh, since when does this affect skin? So
I know, and it had so many
benefits.
benefits. I thought for sure that's just an added plus. I like
Chrissy,
when all the things are working for that.
Yeah, I sent out that link today to our team, and then Amy, if you didn't get it, Connie can forward it to you too. It was a video or a 1-hour presentation by the inventor of the stem cell patches and the founder of the company, David Schmidt, last Wednesday. But every 2 weeks, the company provides education, whether it's from David or someone like another brand partner or somebody that works at the corporate office or level. And so it's great when we get actually David himself. And just last week, we were able to have that opportunity.
Excellent. This is probably not the time, but before we close out, if someone could address this question, I would appreciate it. And that is, I just recently joined at the lowest possible level, and it looks like I'm going to be spending more than that each month. Is it possible for me to change to a higher level?
Absolutely. So Connie shared that you came in as a bronze. So you probably got one pack of, or one sleeve of X39, a 30-day supply. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So you can upgrade your membership at any time. So you can order, set up a subscription so you get your patches monthly, but you can also upgrade to the next level, which is silver. And then above that is gold. And then there's platinum and diamond. And what's nice is even if you only were able to start at bronze, because sometimes that is the case with somebody who starts their healing journey with the patches, depending on their budget, you can actually get the same opportunity to get less than wholesale pricing when you go ahead and place an upgrade order versus just a regular order. So yeah, and actually I talked to Connie about that today. She can share that with you. And I can also put my phone number in the chat so you can reach out to me directly because I know she'll be traveling. And then Christy, you actually just upgraded today. So, it is nice to see. In fact, she did, can I share what package you did? So Christy came in as silver, probably a little less than a year ago. And then she upgraded to gold. So what was so great is she actually was able to get 2 X39 and an Eon for $200. So basically she saved about $70 because regularly an Eon and 2 X39 would be $269.95 or something like that, plus the shipping and tax. So it's really great to take advantage of the upgrade kit opportunities so that you can get better than wholesale pricing. So Amy, we're happy to, help you with that and support you anytime.
This might be a great time to talk about too, the brand partner versus preferred customer. I've had a couple of people this week chiming in. They've had people signing up as preferred customers and, just what they can say to sort of sway them into, signing up as a brand partner. Because I think there are so many more benefits within the brand partner. So if we could just talk about that for a minute, and hopefully they'll watch this.
Yeah, Carrie, go ahead.
For me personally, I think, well, I'm going to sign everybody up as a brand partner. I don't really have any preferred customers because as soon as they say that, I just, well, maybe why don't you make some commission? Well, you can get a website and you can refer people. And I think that that's such an added benefit because then you're starting to pay off your patches. If you sign up as the preferred customer, you're, locked into that 6-month commitment in order to get those wholesale prices, whereas it's a little bit more lenient.
Well, it's not only locked in, you have to have an auto ship on.
Yeah.
And I think that is the big difference between being a preferred customer and a brand partner is that anyone who's a preferred customer, any of them, you have to have your auto ship on. If you let it lapse, you get returned back to retail and you cannot come back to preferred customer. From what I've heard that has happened to people.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a brand partner and you try it a month, you start as a bronze and you want to try it a month to give it a try, give it a good 30 days, I don't know anyone that hasn't, but if you don't continue on, you could just stop it and then maybe pick up the next month or the month after that. It would be fine. But so that there's flexibility there with being a brand partner. And I also like the flexibility of upgrading, like you were saying, Krista. I think it was great. I came in as, I think I started as a gold.
I think you came in as a gold.
Yeah, I came in as a gold because I knew everybody that I was giving the patches to before I even bought them. And then I just, every time I ran out of patches or I needed more, I just upgraded. And then I upgraded again.
That's what
And
I
then
did as well.
upgraded again. So,
Yep.
and then I became a diamond. And the thing about that I like the most, and Amy, I want you to hear me on this, is that it doesn't matter what level you are, what your minimum requirement would be per month as a brand partner. It's 55 points. If you're not a manager, once you hit manager and above, it's 110. So really, to start out, it's 55 points. That's it.
The pack of patches, like
It's
the
a pack of
classic
patches.
patches.
Yeah, a pack of classic patches. That's it every month. That would be what your minimum is. It doesn't matter if you're a bronze, a silver, a diamond. Doesn't matter. It would
And
be
also, you're not
55.
required to do that every month either. If you need to take
Right.
a month off or you have enough
Sure.
enough patches, right? So, and Amy, I know you're brand new, so when you hear points, you're going, wait, what does that mean? So for every sleeve of patches, and a sleeve is considered 30 patches, a 30-day supply. The company also applies a personal volume or a business volume. You see PV or BV in the back office when you place orders. So it has to do with the volume and how they consider, our status as active, et cetera. So the only reason that really matters is if you start sharing the product with others. So I know that Connie had shared with me that you'd been using the product for a little bit, purchasing them from her, and then you had a great experience. So then you became a brand partner. So that's really how this works. When people start to have their own experience with the patches, then they start to feel better, sleep better, have more energy, pain relief, whatever it is, then we start using the patches and we think, wow, like this is actually giving me a better quality of life. Right. And inevitably, I had that experience. And of course, I'm going to tell my friends and my mom and my dad and whoever, in my family I know is suffering from pain or anxiety or depression or whatever it is. And of course, we don't ever make any claims that we heal certain diseases or medical issues. However, we know all these symptoms, whether it's sleep, whether it's, having, pain in the knee or in a joint or anything like that, or emotional trauma. These patches address all those different things. So that's why we talk a little bit about brand partner, because it allows us to actually get our patches paid for when we simply just tell our friends about them, just like Connie shared them with you. So hopefully that explains that a little bit better.
And testimonials are so great for sharing the possibilities of what the patches could do for each individual. I've had a couple of interesting testimonials this week. I don't know if I'm sure you ladies have too. Do we want to share some of those? Because I think that they're so powerful.
I think
Yeah,
great.
I have some myself. In fact, hold on, before we go to testimonials, I love what you said, Krista, about people, how they experience the patches. My mom's probably going to be on at some point, but I'm going to just share her thing real quick. So she's like, oh, I'm not going to sell these. I'm not going to sell these. Well, I think I told you she lives in 2 different areas. So she lives in upstate New York for half the year, and the other half of the year she lives in Florida. So she's considered a snowbird. So she goes 6 months usually without seeing her friends. So when her friends saw her, when she went home for summertime this year, she left her yoga and the women swarmed her. What are you doing? I want that information now, because she had mentioned it last summer, just casually. Oh yeah, I tried this new thing. And she goes back to the beginning of this summer and they're all like, we want in. So for someone who didn't want to sell patches, it just happens very organically for her because it's such a visual transformation. So I think
we become our best success story, which
Absolutely.
is our best marketing tool, our successes that we can share with everyone. So, everybody should do that. Keep using the patches and people will notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, people compliment my skin all the time. What are you doing? Oh, wow, I wear these stem cell patches, right? I mean, I'm not using any fantastic cleanser or anything like right now. So
Keeping it simple. Carrie, what's your testimony? I'd love to hear it.
So I have a brand partner who's been with me, I want to say about 6 months. She's been using X39 and Eon on a regular basis. It's she's had various pains, issues and all that have totally subsided. When you look at her, it definitely 10 years younger she looks. Well, she told me that she also has found that the X39 is relieving her hot flashes. And I think that that is super exciting because that's something that we really struggle to find anything for people when they're struggling with that's going to work. So just added to one more of the possibilities of your stem cells, which we knew were limitless. So that's awesome. And another story of a teen girl, well, you're older than a teen, her menstruation has regulated and she went from heavy bleeding to just normal periods, and she's been using carnosine for about 6 months. So I think that's exciting too, because I think that as women, you know, balancing our hormones and all is always something that people struggle with. And these are just side effects that wasn't even why they were using the patch. So I love that.
I love those great side effects.
Yeah,
They're the best. They're the best.
Exactly.
Did you
So
have
that's all
any,
my stories.
did you have any testimonies, Krista, from this week?
Well, the biggest one for me was just not getting sick when I felt like I was getting sick. And that was around Monday and Tuesday of last week. So glutathione to the rescue. Also because I was at that fire, like the campfire, I know affects me. You know, I put carnosine on because I can feel it when I breathe, right? And we know that carnosine has this ability to up-level our organ function. So I would say that that's also a great one. And that's also a patch that I like to wear about every third day, just like the glutathione. You know, I always wear it on Mondays and Thursdays, unless there's an extenuating circumstance where I'm traveling or there was a campfire or something like that where my immune system might be compromised. So that's the biggest thing for me. And also, you know, I'm actually staying with my parents for the summer, and my dad's been doing a little bit extra physical labor, and he's coming in at night, even though he wears X39 and X49 and SP6 every day. And then he wears Eon at night. We're patching up with LifeWave where his low back is in pain, and, you know, on the knees and on those joints. And, you know, I'll ask him how he feels. He's, you know, we're getting him hydrated and he's patching up. And then, you know, the next morning, we like to put on those usually at night. And then the next morning he's waking up, and he just is feeling great. So, and he's somebody who actually is carrying a significant amount of extra weight right now as well. So there is more weight on the joints, which also cause some of the pain, especially on top of physical labor. So I also know that as he's releasing weight, you know, this is also something that's helping with his joints, because, you know, the heavier we are, the more weight we carry, the more, you know, it creates that burden on those joints. So, you know, LifeWave is a patch that is just so spectacular in just, you know, immediate pain relief. And sometimes it's eliminating the pain, sometimes it's reducing the pain. You can wear multiple sets at one time. So that's just what I've seen just in my personal use with me and my family.
Thank you. I have I have a couple of testimonies from this week. So one, we were on vacation, and I might have imbibed a little too much one night, and I woke up and my stomach was sour, and I was like, you know, let's try this LifeWave. So I did. I put an LifeWave right on my stomach, and I put the tan one. I put the white one right under my belly button, and I felt fine. I was like, oh, thank you. Let's not do that again. My father had surgery a couple weeks ago. There's a whole list of health issues that he has. He has been patching X39, X49 pretty consistently for the last year. He had something come up with his foot and his toe. So he had to have a surgery, and my mom, you know, we were talking back and forth about it, and she was asking me about, you know, what patches to use after the surgery. And I said, absolutely X39. So they ended up doing 2 X39. Like, we kind of talked about it, and we're like, all right, we're going to do 2 X39. We're going to bracket that lower ankle right above so that we can get some energy. And my thought was getting that energy moving kind of around that ankle, getting those stem cells to that area. And my father, who, for as long as I can remember, when they say, oh, well, recovery is going to be, I don't know, 4 to 6 weeks. Well, my dad would be 12. Like, he does not heal well. So this one, he's healed. He's done. I said to Mom, I was like, is this, I mean, you think it's the stem cells? I knew the answer. And she's like, absolutely. She goes, he's never healed like this ever before. And so I think that's a great testimony to not only stem cells themselves, but the extenuating circumstances where you might want to wear more than one if you're coming out of a surgery, if you've got to recover from some kind of trauma, injury that you need to recover from. I think putting more than one of the X39 on is not out of the realm of possibilities. In fact, I would have had her patch more, but she is still very careful about her placement of the patches that she uses, because she wants to know that that patch she put on was the one that did it, if that makes sense. So she was definitely 2 X39s. So that was a great testimony for him. The other one is Josh. Once over vacation, and actually again once today, he kind of got to the point in the afternoon where he kind of did this like huddled thing where he was uncomfortable. Like his back was almost starting to like seize up. And I'm like, okay, here we go. So I got an Eon on the back of the neck. I got LifeWave. We got him on certain spots in the body. And I went down maybe 10, 15 minutes later. And he was actually like standing in a relaxed position. And I was like, hey, I see those are working. And he's like, oh yeah, that's great. Thanks. So it's just, I think LifeWave is really an untapped resource for a patch. And for me personally, it was a little intimidating in the beginning, because you think, oh, you got to get him in the right spot and go around with it, and practice definitely helps. But you also have to have pain to use those patches. So not that I want to wish anybody pain, but or you imbibe too much, or
Yeah, or when you need it.
Yes.
I have a question too about Eon. When somebody has, a pulled muscle, or, a painful joint from the work of the day or something like that, I know we put the white patch of LifeWave because it's positively, negatively charged on the point of pain. Wait, no, it's the opposite. The brown patch on the point of pain. Yes. Okay. And then you're going to apply the white one, at 12, 3, 6, or 9 o'clock, depending on which way the pain is radiating, a few inches away. And then if someone also wants to wear Eon, my question is, because we know Eon also supports pain relief and is a go-to for that and for inflammation, would you stack it on top of the brown LifeWave patch, or put it between the two LifeWave patches? Do either of you have experience, or anyone have experience on that?
I haven't double patched that way. I did when I was doing the flower protocol that Roy Sojourner had in his stuff that's flying around on the internet. I had done that for Josh's recovery on his surgery, but usually I don't double patch.
I don't either. That's
I would normally, just out of instinct and kind of following what Roy always talks about, like his first go-to when someone's in pain is Eon on the back of the neck. Then it's applying LifeWave, and then it's taking an X39 and putting it, that's when he says to double stack it, take the X39 and double stack it right on top of that tan LifeWave, wherever it's been placed. I tend to find that when you use Eon and LifeWave at the same time, I think it changes the placement, because you've now also put a point on that has a positive. So I kind of think it almost like a line's been drawn. So if I'm putting the Eon on the back of the neck and they've got a point on their back that hurts, I tend to go past it about that same distance with the white patch for the LifeWave, if that makes sense. So I kind of take that same distance. So it might not be 3 inches away. It might be, a foot away from it or more. So, what they say about having just the tan patch and going the 3, 6, 9, 12, I think that's a great start for people. But I think once you start adding other patches in, you might need to expand from those 4 points once you've added another patch into it.
I think a good video for reference for that is Karen Can when she does the ice wave for the meridians. And you can
Okay.
find that on YouTube. It was super interesting. I learned so much. I felt like I was patching so much better for other people because people struggle with ice wave. And I can put it on them and they're like, it's perfect. And I'm like, ta-da. But then they get home and they're like, but if I put it here where you had it, it's not exactly the same. And, you know, it can be harder. So with the meridians, I have had success telling people like, listen, if you have the pain here, follow the meridian, and then you're really just patching at the top and the bottom of a meridian. So it's something to, thank you, Kate, for putting that in there. I love Karen
Maybe we can put it
Can.
in the Facebook group too, where people can find that, or her YouTube channel, because she's a medical practitioner that works with the patch technology. She's also a brand partner, not part of our team,
awesome.
but she's very incredible working with energy, like Carrie said, and looking at these meridians. And I think the other thing just to mention about this question, especially for anybody who's watching, who's new to using the patches, you know, a lot of times it's just experimenting too and listening to the body intuitively. Where does this patch want to go? Where should I put it? And there's not a right or wrong, because I know at first, about 2 years ago when I started patching, there were times I didn't wear the patches because I didn't want to put it in the wrong place. And it's just not possible. Yes, the little brochures that you get show you the clinically tested acupressure points in which you can apply them, but it's not necessary to always follow that. In fact, if you have a wound or an injury, you can put X39 right near that wound. You don't always have to put it below the belly button or on C7 behind the neck. So same thing when we talk about using the patches for pain reduction, whether it's IceWave or Eon, you know, following the protocol, but also just listening intuitively and knowing that where you patch them, you know, the stem cells know, you know, the body intuitively knows how to heal itself. So it's going to take that information and do exactly what it's supposed to do with it. I have to go off camera for a second. So I just want you to know I'm going to be here, but I have to go off to get something.
Okay.
So I'm dropping those links in the Facebook for those that are tuned in. You can grab those videos to watch. So this is David's glutathione.
Excellent.
And Kate, can you put the Facebook page link to Patching Partners too, so that anyone who's here in the Zoom room can join that group?
Sure.
If they haven't yet.
Sure. Not that I want to call her out, but I'm gonna, because she just signed on. Mom, do you have any testimony updates? I kind of gave a little one about Dad and doing the double patching thing and how beneficial that was compared to previous surgeries that he had in his recovery time. I didn't know if you had anything to add to that.
Other than the fact that he has healed so much faster, it's really remarkable. And I did 2 X39s. That was his request. And I did it down on his, just like 4 inches or so above the ankle on the inside. And then sometimes I did it on the outside. But
You double stacked them?
No,
And
I just did one on each side.
One on each side. So you did like a bracket?
Yep.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
He's had similar wounds in the past and it have taken months and months to heal. And he's pretty well healed, and it's been about 3 weeks. So
That 3
Wow.
weeks, that's it?
Wow.
it's amazing. It really, really.
Wow.
And I really thought we'd have to go back to the wound specialist for the one on his one toe that was really open. I mean, that was a 1/4 of an inch opening between his toes. And I really thought it wouldn't heal. I thought he would have to have, skin again and that stuff, like what happened last time with the wound guy. And it's like almost healed. I really think it is healed. It had a little spot, I thought, yesterday, but I today when I looked at it, I thought that was pretty amazing.
Sure is.
I agree, especially since you didn't know about it. Like you went for the one toe And they
Yeah.
got in there and the doctor was like, oh, well, that toe looks bad, but over here looks way worse. And my mom had no idea. And what did they do? They like push something in between his toes or something?
He took a wooden dowling and he pushed it into the opening, and it went about an inch and a half into his foot. Of course, he doesn't feel it, so that was the basis of the whole problem. Then after about a week, he was able to go about, it had healed up about an inch. And then the last time we were in there, he could barely get his little thing in there at all. So, so it was really, I was surprised, but he really wanted me to do it. So I thought, okay, I have absolutely no luck with him with LifeWave, mainly because he can't feel. He's got neuropathy. He just, it's like, yeah. I mean, I use it sometimes when he asks for it and this ankle hurts or this heel hurts, but I put it all different places on him, and I don't know if it helps him or not, but whatever.
Well, we did just put that Karen Can video in there, and I'll text it to you so you have it if you wanted to watch it.
Yeah, I would like, I've seen some of hers and I really like the way she explains things.
Yeah, so I'll just text that to you real quick so you have it. Mom's not on Facebook, so.
No, I'm not a Facebook person.
So,
but other than that, that's kind of been where we've been working this week. So yeah,
that's good.
I was very pleased.
I was telling the ladies that you didn't necessarily come in like wanting to sell or to do that kind of thing, but you've kind of, it's organically happened just because you live in two different locations, and that your girlfriends came and saw you after your yoga or your class this past year or past month.
Yeah, an exercise class I was in. Yeah, I've had 3 new people that have wanted to try it. And each of them bought a month's worth and are going at it. So okay,
Nice.
whatever. It's okay with me.
Yep.
So
someone who didn't want to sell is now
well,
selling.
but most of my clientele are not people that want to become brand partners. They are not wanting to sell themselves, but they're wanting to make use of the product. So for them, the idea of being just a preferred customer or preferred customer plus is what appeals to them. So whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of the things I always share with people is that, I just always encourage them to enroll and set up their membership account. And, because there's no pressure or any minimums when they're a brand partner. And then of course, if and when they ever want to share it with somebody, then they're set up to do that. Or of course, as Kate, I know knows, and has probably shared with you, they can always upgrade from PC to a brand partner in the future.
Well, I think most of my people need to be convinced that it's really doing something for them. I think they're very skeptical about it working. And it's like, okay, fine. I mean, I've had people who've gone for 3 months just fine for me and then said, I really want to do this. I'm okay, go for it.
Yeah, and that's true. I mean, from the get-go, I didn't even tell anyone about it for probably about 3 months. That was my experience. I know some people have more immediate experience, but because of the work that I do, I really wanted to have my own experience before I even told my family about it, right? So it is important for everyone to have their own experience because everyone's experience is different. So that's amazing, just having that approach and just allowing people to have that experience. And, of course, we know that it's all backed by science and, all of that's there showing what is occurring behind the scenes with the stem cells, with the copper peptide. And and some people, it's funny, even though the science is there, they're still skeptical because how can I heal from a patch that has nothing in it that's going into my skin? And, this is light technology. It's, frequency. And, even though healing from light or the sun is one of the most ancient healing technologies on this planet, people sometimes wrapping their head around that, it takes some time. So we have, the sun story, which I know is on some of the websites we've talked about as well. And for people to really wrap their head around how it works. So it's a process. And that's why I think even with Kate and Carrie and I, there's people we've talked to over the last year that are finally now saying, oh, I think I want to try that. So it is that layering process, and just you having your own experience is so beautiful. And I'm just so glad that you're part of Kate's team and that you're here, and it's great to meet you.
Well, I could figure out how to put my picture on there, but I'm not sure that I can.
Oh,
It's up to you. It's no pressure. There she is.
hi. Hi, Deborah.
Hi.
Mhm. Hello.
It's funny because that was what started it up here was I came back to exercise class and one of the girls came up to me immediately and said, I'm ready to try your stuff.
Yes,
awesome.
you look great.
Okay. Whereas, I didn't even know she'd paid any attention to anything I'd said to anybody, but she was ready. So, yeah.
Exactly. And the more we wear them, the better we feel and the better we look. And if we just start to glow, I mean, to me, I can always just point, see all the people that are wearing stem cell patches because their skin is just looks so healthy. So the longer we wear them and the more you do that and the more you're around people, the more people are going to compliment you and it's going to give you that opportunity to share it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I think one of the important things really to remind people that are tuning in is to take a before picture or, I'm sure you've got plenty of selfies on your phone, but if you really want to get a nice before picture with maybe no makeup, stand in the mirror, no makeup, smile, don't smile, turn to the side, smile, don't smile. I'm totally up to you, but at least then you have them to look back on in 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever you want. When you start to question and be like, I don't think this is working, because that's what mom, she didn't really have anything wrong. Like you had a little bursitis pain, but that was about it. And it was a couple months in, you were like, I don't think this is working. And I'm like, all right, well, let's take another picture. And it was like, holy crap, mom.
It really was.
This
Yeah.
works.
One of
But-
my customers is a esthetician. So
Mhm.
they have those fancy cameras where it does the thing and then it slides it down and you can see like the before and the after. And yeah, she is loving X39. She used Alavita too, but she loves the X39 more. But yeah, what a difference. And when you see it where it's side by side, you're like, whoa, it's amazing. Maybe there's an app for it. I'm not sure, but that'd be
Wow.
fun to do.
I
Yeah.
just send my pictures to Kate and make her put them side by side. She has the technology to do that.
Yes,
I want to
yes.
see it. That'd be great. Yeah, you could share that with people too. I'm curious, Amy, do you want to share anything about your experience with the patches so far? And no pressure if you can't come off mute, but if you want to, we'd love to give you the floor for that. And if not, you can come in later if you want to speak up in a few minutes, no problem. All right, so what else? Any other questions?
I'm sorry, it's just really, I'm not in a good place, so I'm listening intently, but you don't need to hear all the background.
No problem. You can come on anytime, any week and share more if you want.
Yep, absolutely.
And if there's any questions, Amy or Deborah or anyone, you can always put them in the chat too if it's not, if you're not in an environment where you can come on camera.
Yeah, Amy
My
just
one
has.
question, yeah, it was about the Facebook page.
Yep, I added it in to the answer to your question. Did you see it okay? The patching partners?
I see it. Kate.
Okay.
Okay, awesome.
That just gives her that public page that we have that we stream from. So if she can't get on Zoom, she can at least stream it from there.
Yes, I see it. Thank you.
Oh yeah, you're very welcome. Great. Well, the storms are over. I don't know if
It's still raining here.
Oh, you guys had some
You
storm.
must have more on the way.
I have my headphones on too, so that's great out there.
It's perfect.
Kids are asleep and that's wonderful. Yeah, if no one has any other questions, I think we can kind of wrap it up tonight.
Let's go ahead and let's just
Excellent.
announce too that there's 2 other opportunities tomorrow as well. I think it's so awesome that we have this beautiful Q&A every Monday. And I love this new time that we've set up for everybody so people can catch it at the end of their workday. But also our presidential director, Sandra Biskine, offers similar format Q&A tomorrow on Tuesdays, every Tuesday at 12 noon Pacific, which is 3 p.m. Eastern. And then for anybody who has questions about the business and wants to go deeper into business topics, questions, at 4 p.m. Pacific, there is a Quantum Healing Team Business Builders Zoom as well. So, and that would be 7 p.m. Eastern for those of you on Eastern time zone. So we just want to make sure that everyone has these weekly opportunities to step into this amazing community of healers and teachers, and people that want to heal and want to feel better. And I'm just so grateful for it all, and for Carrie and for Kate being part of this, and for us coming together tonight. And if anyone has questions about those too, you can put it in the Facebook page, right, Kate? And
Yeah, I was just trying to find those links that you and I worked on earlier in my sent folders, and I can't figure out what email I sent it. Oh, there it is. Found it.
no, I also sent it to you today too. I think you're on my list, so you can copy
Yep.
it from there. Yeah.
So here is the, I'll put it in the chat. So here's Tuesday Q&A in the chat. And then for business builders, this is the business builder information. So we'll put that in there. So people have access to that.
Thank you.
Yeah, there we
Perfect.
go. Excellent. And I will get this posted on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. So
Okay. Thank you
right,
for everything.
awesome.
yeah,
Kate.
have a great night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.